go to this thing in progress. Then I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, share screen. Yep. Okay. All right. So here we have you. Here we have you. Right. So we'll start off with this one. So let's just watch it through to start with. In fact, I'm zoomed in. Yeah, I am. I'll zoom out and then.
So say to my sister, just do 20 seconds. I'm like, do I carry on? Do I not?
No, it's plenty. It's absolutely plenty. It's just
in a busy car park. Delamere Forest.
Brilliant. And then we've got this one. Again, I'm zoomed in. No, I'm not. Okay. All right. So I love the star jump at the end. Yeah. Let's start with this one. So right. So I took some still shots of sort of all the bits that I kind of wanted to talk about, and bits that you can do something about. So just as an overview, just ignore the yellow line because I've just left it on there. So have you ever heard of a crossover gate? That ring a bell?
No.
Right. Okay. So when you run or walk, your legs should more or less be on tram tracks. Very much depends how wide your pelvis is. You know, you see some people that are shaped like an egg, really.
Yeah.
You know, they've got wide pelvises, especially women, wide pelvises, and then narrower legs. So it depends on your shape. But in theory, your legs really should travel on tram tracks.
Yeah.
And so a crossover gait is exactly what I say. It's exactly
what it says.
Your legs are coming in.
Yeah.
And it's usually a sign that the muscles on the side of your hips, i.e. your glutes, but on the sides, are just not doing their job really to hold your legs out where they, I'm saying should, right? It's dead supple, it's tiny, but it kind of all goes together. So what I'm looking at here is you can see how your back leg, so your right leg, is kind of overlapping your front leg somewhat. And that's fine, right? So that's your that's that side. Crossover on the left. So crossover on the right, same thing. This leg is coming under, and then you can and I just use the back leg to see how much kind of crossover there is. And then if we look at this one, that just gives you an idea. So I can see how wide your thigh is here. And how wide this thigh is. And even allowing for the fact that it's slightly further away, you can see how much your back thigh is crossing over your so it's not just, let me just turn the sound off on this. So it's not just a case of your lower leg coming in. Some people's like feet come in, you know, they turn in, which can be a bit deceptive. Your thighs are actually crossing over, and I suspect if I, you know, if I was running alongside you and said to you, are your thighs kind of rubbing together, you'd be like, they are. You know, and again, some of us have meatier thighs than others, and that's absolutely fine. Not wrong with meaty thighs. So, but you get what I'm saying, as in, they, you know, they're going to be sort of. Right, so that crossover, we've got a crossover gait, fine, right? It is where it is. Now, if we look at you, so that's you landing on your right leg. You can see how your right leg is landed on the floor, your left leg's still in the air. And your pelvis is straight across when you land on your right leg. Agreed? When you land on your left leg, where are we? Sorry, left leg, sorry. That's what you get.
Right,
So that is quite a big discrepancy. from level. And if I take off, I can't take it off. But if I was, you can see it with your t-shirt. You really don't need the line. You can see the t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, is the same angle. Same angle as the line. That's the joys of t-shirt creases. And you can see you've no creases on this side here, but you can see the creases.
That's it, 'cause it's going over. Yeah.
So so when you land on your left leg and that glute again, I'm pointing to it, this glute on the side, just not strong enough, whatever, it's just not doing its job to keep this side of your pelvis lifted. Dropping. And it comes from the other side, weirdly. Well, not weirdly, it's just how we work, but that's how it is. And then still coming sort of from the back, we've got a chicken wing on the right and a chicken wing on the left. Well, but this is me. So I've got you coming from the front so you can really see it. Coming from the front. And if you can picture, if you had laser beams coming out of your nipples, your nipples would be pointing somewhere over here. As opposed to straight forward. So I think this picture sort of sums it up a little bit, really. You can really see that shoulder is way back. This shoulder is way forward. Your nipples are pointing over here somewhere.
Are you surprised that I can even move? I'm not surprised. I don't like running.
You know, we need some rotation at the top. Because it counterbalances what's going on at the bottom. Absolutely. But the very fact that we've got, you know, I mean, I love this picture because it just sums it up. This
is how not to run.
He's over here somewhere. Your top half is trying to go, oh, I don't know where to go. Your bottom half's back the other way, and you've got a new chicken wing on this side. Now, interestingly, your chicken wing. So usually people will chicken wing their arms in an effort to balance. And the balance muscles are the same muscles that I'm talking about with your crossover gait. All right. So this is what I mean. It's like, it's a bit, you sort of follow the dots. As, you know, some people do cross over more than others and they don't have any problems. And then some people, you know, run on tram tracks and they get sore knees. So it's sort of working out what's what. But the very fact that your upper body is kind of supporting what your upper body is doing is kind of telling me that the lower body is doing the same thing, i.e. lack of balance on this, on your left. Fine, right, so that's that. I've covered everything there. Right, so then we come to the sideways one. And look where we are. Right, let's talk about body angles first. Okay, so here you are. So that yellow line is vertical line from your, we call it your stance foot, it's the foot you stood on. And you can see these wonderful angles that you've got. So your head to your ass, either side of the line, back to your knee on the other side of the line, back to your foot on the other side of the line. You're like a giant Z shape. I've never seen so many angles in one body.
Oh, don't make me laugh. I've got a bloody injury. I'll tell you about that later.
Have you? Right.
Jesus. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see if any of this sort of makes you think, oh, I wonder if that's kind of, there's never any cause, right? We can't say.
Oh, this is a cause. I came off my bike last Tuesday.
Oh, well, that's definitely a cause of whatever you've done. Absolutely. Right. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute then. So, in theory, again, the more upright you are, the lighter you're going to land, right? So, if you let's have a think. If you were just standing still and somebody come and give you a big shove from behind, you'd stick one foot out to stop yourself, wouldn't you? Does that make sense? You'd kind of take a giant step forward. You'd land on that front leg and it'd break you from moving forward. Right? Okay. So if you are leaning forward, like you are there, you really have no alternative than to do this with your legs. So it's as if I've come and give you a giant shove from behind, and you've taken a giant step forward, landed on your heel. And just like if I had done that, give you a shove from behind and you were trying to stop yourself, that's exactly the same that's happening there. You are stopping yourself. It's a small braking force.
Right, yeah.
Heel hits the pavement with a stretched out leg, and they call it a braking force. I'm trying to think of a way of putting it. But you're essentially doing what I've just said. So you're falling forward, stopping yourself. You're falling forward, you're stopping yourself, so on and so forth. Yeah. So that line, to go back to this one a bit better. So that's your heel just hitting the ground. That's the first point of contact. And you can see how far in front of this line you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still see this forward lean, you can see the angle. So if I was to draw another line there, you'd be able to see this angle.
Yeah.
So we want this leg, this forward leg, to land more under your center of gravity. It's never going to be completely under you, because if it was, you wouldn't be going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
The closer it is under your center of gravity, the better. Because you're not going to get that braking force. The further out in front you land, the more impact there is. So the more impact you're going to feel from your heel into that outstretched knee and into your lower back. Yeah. So getting the leg to land under you is, there's two things. One, it's sometimes a case of if you're wearing quite comfortable cushioned shoes, your body will feel confident about landing there.
Yes. Yeah.
If I said to you, take those shoes or socks off and go for a little trot and video that, you would not be landing like that, because your body would go, fuck that, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to hurt myself. Carry on like that.
I've bought some barefoot shoes now.
Have you?
Yeah, I've ordered them. Yeah. So I've got 3 pairs now, because I couldn't decide which ones I wanted.
What have you ordered? Which ones have you ordered?
Oh, they're not Vivo, but they're like a cheaper version. Yeah. But still good. I think £45, but
send me a link. Bloody hell, that's nice. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the more minimal the better. So whatever you do, don't go running in them.
All right, yeah. You
will cripple yourself until you've done some work to change some of this.
Right, okay.
What I suggest, what I do with the group and what I do with everybody, so you're no exception, is what I suggest to people is, when you've done your warm-up, you go out, you do your warm-up for your run, whatever that consists of, take your shoes and socks off and run absolutely barefoot for about 10, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 meters. Yeah. So you get the benefit of connecting your feet to your brain, which is what it's all about. But you don't, you're not going to create any problems with your foot skin. So you know, if you went for a longer run in without any shoes on, the first thing that would give would be your foot skin. In other words, you'd get it'd wear, especially on concrete. Be all right on grass, especially on concrete. If you went running on grass in barefoot, you'd find that your feet and ankles would tire particularly quickly. So even a barefoot shoe is enough to put a blindfold on your foot. In other words, it can't really sense the environment. So as a drill, you're better off going completely barefoot on a hard surface, so your foot goes, wow, I'm awake, and your brain goes, oh, feet, I've got feet again, brilliant. And you shove them back in your shoes and you go for your run. Your barefoot shoes are going to be there to strengthen your feet outside of running. So for the rest of the time, I promise you, if you go out running in your barefoot shoes, you will be in a lot of pain.
Right, okay.
Take it from one who did that. Oh my God, barefoot shoes, amazing, let's go for a run.
No.
No, you've got to do the work. They're not a magic bullet. You know, they're great in the sense that they will help strengthen your feet. But if you're, however old you are, I'm 46, so if I spent 37 years in shoes, proper shoes,
yeah,
you know, you've got that, however long you've been in a proper shoe,
yeah,
that's how long you've got to unravel. You know, that's
yeah,
a lot of, that's like, you know, having your arm in a cast for 40 years.
yeah, yeah,
You take it out, it's going to be very, very weak.
yeah,
so yeah, so bear that in mind. Right, so we've got this over stride. We want the leg to land more under our center of gravity, and the more upright you are, the more chance there is of that happening.
yeah.
Right, okay, so let's just, one last thing, bottom of your stance first, flight phase. Right, so when you are in what we call flight phase, when both feet are off the ground,
yeah,
your pelvis is where it is there. You can, that yellow line is the top of your hips.
yeah,
Yeah. And then when you land, again, all of this is, you know, everybody's slightly different.
yeah,
Your pelvis should almost, there'll be that slight undulation of your pelvis as you move along. But it should be a glide. You know, you're gliding forward. You don't want too much up and down. Up and down is very jarring on the body. Right.
Yeah.
So when you come, that's the top. And when you come to the bottom, that's how high or how low you sink.
Right. Yeah.
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 And now that comes back to your body angles again. So try to think, what does that? Like a concertina.
Yeah.
You know, when you land, you're concertinaing to absorb the shock. That's, your body's absorbing the shock by everything kind of compressing. It means that you're going to be on the ground, so your foot is going to be on the ground for longer than we would like. So more impact, more stress through the foot, more stress through the knee, and more stress through the lower back, because everything's kind of going bleh.
Yeah.
And then you've got a lot more work then to power yourself back out of that.
Get back up. Yeah.
Get back up again. Yeah, absolutely. So I think if we think, going back to my spring analogy, which I might have bored you to death with already, maybe not. But you know, like a slinky is very soft and it flops down the stairs. And then at the other end of the scale, you've got a very stiff, horrible spring that just doesn't do anything. Yeah. And then in the middle, you've got something like a pogo stick, which is very bouncy. I'm trying to think whatever creature that is out of Magic Roundabouts. It's Zebedee. Right.
Oh, Zebedee,
yeah, I don't want to be Zebedee. Whereas what we've got at the minute is very much this, your body's kind of going, oh, blood, and then almost collapsing. Sounds like a shit word, that, doesn't it? But it's collapsing in on itself to absorb the shock. Yeah. As opposed to being like Zebedee, where he hits the floor, bounces off, hits the floor, bounces off. Yeah. Zebedee doesn't hit the floor and kind of go, oh, I'm going to stay down here for a bit. And then I'm going to come back up, you know. Yeah. So what should be happening is, let me see if I can demonstrate. So you see me. You don't need to see me.
Yeah, I can.
To a certain extent. So your Achilles and your calves. Yeah. Giant springs, right? Giant springs. So the idea is, if I was to get you to jump and skip, which we might actually get to, you know, you skip by landing and then taking off again. Landing. Yeah. It's not very efficient. Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah. Is using what we call the elastic recoil of your tissues. Yeah. In other words, like an elastic band. You load it, you fire it. You load it, you fire it. The longer you stay on the ground, you're missing out on that elastic recoil. Yeah. Yeah. So I think them gazelles in the African desert, you know, when they're prancing about. Yeah. That's a good example of that. Yeah. Look amazing. So it's like channel your inner gazelle while you're running. Easier said than done. Instead of your hippopotamus. Instead of I've got in the group we've got, what have we got in the group? Because I said channel your inner gazelle to the group. One of them said, I'm a water buffalo. don't know why I water one, but she said, I'm a water buffalo. The other one, I'm a hippo.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed how fast hippos can run.
Yes, yeah. Oh dear.
Right. Okay. So let's break this down. Right.
Yeah.
So we've got a tendency to lean forward that in turn makes you overstride. So you land more in front of your body than ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As you land, you fold. Yeah. What have we got on the other? So that's that view. Let me come back to this one. It will jog my memory. We got the crossover as well, coupled with your chicken wings. They're the same thing, really.
Yes.
The arms will, the legs will go where your arms go. So we'll cover that in a minute.
Right.
And that's about it, right? Crossover, overstride, that tendency to drop or sink, especially on one side.
Yeah.
And in your uprightedness or lack thereof. Yeah. All right. So in terms of addressing some of this stuff, then let me just get my head in the right and make some notes as well. So where are we at? The 25th of June. Your arms will, to a certain extent, dictate where your legs go. So they're an easy fix. For me to say to you something like, imagine you're running on tram tracks, that might work for your brain, all right? Yeah. But you want your arms to be very much traveling straight back and straight forward. Yeah. At the moment, so if we come back to this one, you see this hand is pointing across your body. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. Yeah. So instead of this movement, straight back and straight forward, we get this going on. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. This stuff is really common, by the way. I don't want you going away thinking, bloody hell, it's just me. I'm all over the shop. Yeah. Yeah. It's far from it. We've all been there. And it's partly just down to the way we've all moved and lived. Yeah. Yeah. So the arms traveling straight forward and back. So I'm going to write this down and then arms. And it's almost like you want to think you're elbowing somebody really hard in the face on the way back. Yeah. And let them swing forward. There's a tendency to think, I'm just writing notes at the same time, so I know exactly what we've talked about. Okay, yeah. There's a tendency to think that we're punching forward because we want to drive forward. Counterintuitively, in order to drive ourselves forward, we need to power back. Back. It's like rowing. If you're rowing. Yes. Yeah. It's counterintuitive. You're rowing the wrong way. You're going the opposite direction. Yeah. Or ice skating or roller skating. You have to power back in order to move forward. Forward. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the arms are an easy fix. They're an easy fix. Forward and back. Loose fist. Forward and back. Yeah. And the more you can keep them going forward and back on that tram track, the greater chance there is of your legs following suit. Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Right. And if that, that's bloody brilliant. If that works, great. Yeah. What I think is going to happen is I think there is just because we've got all of those things that are going on together. Hello. Hello, Sue. Because of all those things that are going on together, I think there's definitely some work we need to do around your glutes, your hips, and you strengthening and working on your springs. We want to work on your springs to get you more springy and keep you upright. But for today, we're going to work on some things that are just related to the running. Yeah. Go away, have a play. Video again if you can, if it's not too much of a pain in the ass, but it will be get some more video. You sort of practicing this stuff. Yeah. And then we'll look at if that makes any changes, bloody brilliant. I'm all for leaving well alone. I don't want to you don't want to mess with somebody too much because there's a chance you can go too far the other way. Yeah. I rather suspect that what we'll find is some of this stuff continues and we need to then start thinking about we need to do this anyway, full stop. We need to add in the strength stuff. But let's, I want to see what this start does. So we've got arms straight forward and back. Arms, right? And I'll drop this in an email so you're not having to watch all this waffle again. Arms straight forward and back. You see, probably on this road somewhere, there will have been like a white line, you know, the white line, the dotted lines in the middle of the road. They're really useful for sort of practicing wider stance. So you can make your foot land either side of the white line. It feels really weird. You'll feel like you're running like John Wayne. But do that for it's a drill. So you don't need to do it for far. Again, 10, 15 seconds, something like that. Pause,
you can get the feel.
Get the feel for it, and then keep running. You're just trying to retrain your brain into doing something slightly different. That's all. You know, and it is slight. It doesn't have to. None of this has to be fixed overnight. Because if you start running completely differently, if I start saying, "Oh, you want to land on your forefoot and put your barefoot shoes on and turn to the right," and you know, you come back to me going, "I'm fucking broken," and it's all your fault. So slowly, softly, catch your monkey. So feet either side of a line, fine. More upright, that's an easy fix. The more, and it is a case of, you know, you are, get up again. The moment when you run, you are wanting to go here. At that angle. And you like in, so we're here, this kind of very, you're already compressed. You know, all this, your knees aren't going to straighten. So when you're more upright and you get this going on, your legs have more of a chance of landing underneath you, as opposed to here where they have to break you. There's cues that I would say, like, imagine there's a piece of string coming up your spine and out the top of your head. That's your very Pilates cue. One that I quite like to imagine for me is, you know, like a marionette and a puppet that dangles. So instead of you being anchored to the ground, if you imagine being suspended by the top of your head from a crane, it's moving along with you or whatever. But to imagine you suspended instead, because that will automatically straighten your body because you're dangling, but it will keep you lighter. Rather than thinking I've got to feel my feet and grow tall and all this bullshit. So whichever works for you, but you want to be more upright. Okay. Feet either side of the line.
I suppose it's more like leading with your chest, isn't it? I mean, I do try and keep upright and lead with my chest, but clearly not very well. I know what to do.
It's so tricky, and this is by all means, I don't, if you've not seen it yet, I've just put the link out for the injury workshop coming up, which might sort of give you an insight as to where I'm coming from with some of this. But so very much when somebody kind of comes and they go, "Oh, I want to look at the way that I run, and I want some ideas on how to kind of improve." You know, this is the sort of thing we cover, and then like in the next session, I'm going to suggest that we go through some strengthening exercises. So we don't have to wait long. However, as soon as you can get the videos to me, great, and we'll book the next session. And go through some strengthening stuff. What was I going to say? But the upshot of all of this is the way that you run is a culmination of everything and how you've moved for the last however old you are. Years.
58 years.
58 years. Okay, so all that movement baggage that you've got, all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, all the in between stuff, you're bringing all of that to everything that you do, right? So, you know, running changes in form, changes in alignment, strengthening exercises, bloody brilliant. But just bear in mind that you are an individual, you have brought all this with you, and it can take a little bit of time to unpick it. So it is what it is. We start where we start, we meet you where you are, and then over time, you know, we'll build on it going forward. So let me think if there's anything else I want to add to that. We've got crossover, hip drop, chicken wings. We're going to sort that out. Just how I love it, chicken wings. Out to the side, but that will be fixed. And then you've got a forward angle, just covered that. And let me just check, what did we say on notes? So we had,
I mean, I do try and land on the balls of my feet, because like I say, because it's like your rocking action. So your heels are for walking when you do that, but for running, it's like the balls of your feet. Then if you're sprinting, it's like your toes, isn't it?
That's right.
You know, so I do get that, but I'm still, and I don't know why I'm still running on my bloody heels.
You're running on your heel because you can't land on your midfoot where your foot's that far out in front, or certainly not easily.
Overstrap, yes, yeah.
And because your trainer has such a big heel, that's going to hit the ground first. So it's almost like your positioning and your shoes are forcing you into a heel strike. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not welded one way or the other. Some people are heel strikers. Take the shoes off and they will still heel strike.
Still do,
you know, and also people, even the elite runners, they'll change their foot strike during the race. So they'll start off springy on the midfoot, but by the end of it, they're either landing flat foot or heel. And that's just as things fatigue. So proponents of heel striking and big chunky trainers will argue that that's, you know, so there's no such thing as it being good to land on your forefoot. My argument is you need to strengthen your springs more so that you can last longer on your forefoot, you know. So there's lots of theories out there. What you've got to do is kind of work through it and pick out the stuff that you go, well, that makes sense. That's just physics, you know. Look at this and go, I'm landing right out in front of me with forward lean. It's no wonder, you know, I'm landing fairly heavy. It's just physics. There's no getting away from that. So right, okay, let me just, so we've got pain top of left foot, achy, that was about it, wasn't it? Tension in your shoulders. Oh, let's just have a look at that. Actually, I never looked at that. Let's just go back. You can see it actually on this one. You can see I can see it. In fact, let me zoom in and see if I can make that clear to you. Can you see all the muscles in your neck standing out? Yeah. As you running with your neck.
Too high.
It's not so much that they're too high in and of itself. Like you are. So what I see with people whose core isn't as frisky as it could be, it's not doing, you know, it's kind of in there going, I'm here, but I really can't be asked.
That's right.
I can't be asked. There's other stuff that will do the work. And you know, it's typically these muscles up here. So if I do this, these bag boys, chunky ones, the ones that if you squeeze they hurt. And that's because, surprisingly, you see these bits and we think, we've got muscles that do this, right? But those muscles are enormous. They actually go all the way down your back. So it's fairly common that if your centre's not perhaps behaving as well as it could do, say weak, nobody's weak through their core. They're just not organized particularly well, you know. The way that you're kind of positioned is not optimal for your core to get involved. That's all it is. It's not weakness or instability. So on that basis, your body kind of goes, well, I need to get some support from somewhere. Where am I going to get it from? And especially for women, for some reason, there's probably, I don't know what the reason is, but it seems to be a female thing. Because it engages those big muscles, it helps you run, you know, it helps you stabilize. So it's not a case of me saying, oh, drop your shoulders, Stu. Sue,
Yeah.
drop your
Yeah.
shoulders. It's
Yeah.
going to be a case of getting your middle more organized so that it can actually do what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean, when I run, I do, oh, I've got a bad chest. I do go, oh, get your shoulders down, because I know that they do. And then I sort of, I seem to tense just my right hand. Do you know what I mean? I'm running, like holding it, and then I go, relax, you know, then I come down, relax, let them wobble, and then I do this again.
yeah.
You know.
You see that on the right?
Yeah. The hand, yeah.
Yeah, slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I would argue that your right hand's pointing up and your left hand's pointing down. What that means, not a bloody clue. But maybe you are holding more tension on the right.
Yeah.
You can certainly see from the back. I can see that your shoulders are lifted. We've not got that. Well, I can actually bottom of your shoulder blade there.
Yeah.
Tell that it's kind of up.
Yeah.
Somewhat. You know, like I say, your body has to get support from somewhere, and it's not like you know, if you see, you know, elite runners, sprinters, for instance, you see them holding tension, but they're holding tension for 10, 15 seconds, not 30 minutes out on a chilled out run.
Yeah.
You know, so your body's very clever. So basically what we're saying is, if we strengthen certain bits up, your shoulders won't need to help you out. Job done. You know, until you get past a certain point. So say you do you're doing your 10K, your Manchester 10K, you know, first 5K, you're all relaxed and chilled out. Second off, you're starting to get tired, your shoulders get involved, not the end of the world. You know? So it's just giving your body different options, really, apart from anything. Yeah. All right, so more upright. We could use a cue, keep relaxed, but I think you're already using that, and the very fact that you are sort of telling yourself to stay relaxed is indicative of the fact that your body actually can't. It needs it, and that's fine. Stay more upright helps with the center, so helps put you in a better position for your core to do its work, which might then help your shoulders stay relaxed. It'd be interesting to see what you know, how it feels to you. Everybody's different, you know. The people that run with the shoulders, it's not to do with the core, it's just how they've, you know, that's just how they run. Everything's up here. And other people as well, I say to them, stay more upright. They've got a bit more of a forward lean. I stay upright, and first thing they do is lift the shoulders, because that's how they stay upright. You know, so it's got to be what works for you. So more upright. We've got the arms. I'll add that to it. So relaxed shoulders. Or let's say notice difference when upright, if there is one. But if the staying up, it's going to be that fine line of if you're in your head, you're staying upright, but it puts more tension through your shoulders, you might have to soften, you know. In other words, it's not always easy to go from running one way to running a different way. So no force, and you know that you'll probably manage it for the first, I don't know, let's call it 10 minutes. It might not be 10 minutes, however long. The first 10 minutes in your run, you're doing all of the stuff we've talked about, and you're on it. And then 15 minutes in, you'll go, I forgot it, oh shit. And then you go, right, arms, great. And then you go, oh, that's normal. And that's A, normal, and B, really good, because again, for you to change everything all in one go and force your body to do that for half an hour, can you imagine something else to go, I'm not you know. But what we're doing is something slightly different, so your body has something different to think about. Treat it like a drill. So you know, if you were going to do high knees as you warm up, that's a drill to get your knee lift. You do butt kicks, that's a drill to get your hamstrings and glutes working. It's to connect body to brain. So in the middle of your run, you think upright arms, and then you forget, and that's absolutely fine. Treat it like your body and your brain will remember, and they'll just do things slightly differently. That's all we're after. I'm conscious of the fact that I've whitted at you there, and there's a lot to think about. So I'm
Mhm.
going to try and make it, I'll send you or give you access somehow to the video. It
Yeah.
might be easy if I upload it privately on YouTube, and then you can just go straight there.
Okay.
And I'll jot down these in bullet point form, right?
Yeah.
So that you've just got that to focus
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a play with it, get some more video, and don't, you know, try not to, when you're getting the videos done, have a play with this, do some running, play with it in between, run, play, run, play, run, play, and get some video done. But don't force yourself into those positions, because we want to see what your running kind of naturally looks like.
Yes. Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I understand. Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than sort of you forcing your body into these shapes.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll, on the back of that and how it feels, then we'll look at where we go from there in terms of strengthening exercises. I mean, I already know what they're going to be, but I'm conscious of the fact that if I give you those as well today, your head will explode. Right?
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
So one thing at a time. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
sure?
fine.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as soon as I get off this call, then I'll upload the video. I'll drop you the link, and I'll send you these, whatever it is, 5 or 6 points in bullet format.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, go out, couple of runs, video, send it to me. I'll send you a link to get booked in for another session.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on the back of that,
Yep.
so I'm not going to be able to run for a couple of weeks. So I came off my bike. Let me just show you my knees, first of all.
Oh, so bloody hell.
Right. So I was going to work on Tuesday, cycling to work, crossing tram lines, which I've done a million times. Bike got stuck in the tram line. I carried on. So I've landed on my knees. I've got bruises at the bottom of my legs. So I've hurt my hand and my arm, but I've also slammed onto my chest.
Oh, really?
So I find it difficult to breathe at the moment, let alone run.
How painful is it? You're not fractured anything?
I don't think I felt like this before when I've bloody tripped over a guy rope when I've been camping and landed on my chest.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like there's anything broken, punctured or whatever. It doesn't feel like a rib.
Right.
It's just literally in the middle of my chest. So if I do that, it hurts.
Oh, Sue.
I can't do that. And just, John, you want to fill your lungs, but you can't. Yeah. You can't get that breath. So yeah. So I'm buggered.
That's happened to me once. I managed to stop the bike and sort of dismount ungracefully, but yeah, it's a very scary thing when there's no you can do, is there?
No, just like wheel got stuck, and because I was turning, like the wheel had sort of straightened up, and I'd literally just gone sideways. I mean, there was a car behind me, but we was coming up to lights. I mean, obviously, like I'd looked behind me, I could see he was far away, stuck my hand out, just went to manoeuvre, and then so he sort of jumped out. But you only like you just jump up dead quick, and he's going, "Oh, you're all right." Look, I'm going, "I'm fine." I'm going, bloody tram tracks. And then you walk to the side of the road, you're like, but then I had to push my bike home. I had to go back home for half an hour, and my knees were bleeding, and I'm like pushing me back because the wheel wouldn't, the pedals wouldn't, the wheel would turn, but the pedals wouldn't, because I'd like bashed it in. I was like, so the chest is really sore. So even to laugh, it's so sore. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's going to be no running for at least a week, I would have thought.
In that case, we've definitely done the right thing then in breaking it up, because if we do, this stuff is easy to implement. But I think if I'd have been trying to teach you exercises and you'd have been watching me and you couldn't do them,
I wouldn't be able to do them. No.
Yeah. And you'd have just forgotten them. So we've probably, silver lining is, we kind of do it.
Perfect.
So, bugger, well done. You're gonna do it. I've come off a bike a couple of times and there's no. You know what it is? I think as an adult, we're just not. We don't fall, do we? As kids, you just used to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But as an adult, it's just very.
I know, but don't you feel sorry for the kids? Because now you go, oh, rub it better, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, and they're probably going, no, I'm not. Like your grandkids, like grandma. Oh, just be
fine. Yeah, go on, you'll be all right. Get on with it. Here's a plaster. Yeah, and you do it, and it's like, oh, look, don't like it.
I'm too old for falling over. Bloody hell.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Right. Okay, so I'll leave you to your day. I do hope you were, I do hope you recover fairly quickly, but
so do I. Yeah.
I'll send you this lot now, and then
fabulous.
You can kind of
brilliant.
Yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah.
All right, that's fab. Thanks, Kelly.
No, welcome. See you later.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah.